Shabbat Shalom. We welcome you to Congregation Beth Israel as together we enter into the spirit of the Sabbath, enjoying beautiful music, meaningful prayers, a beautiful message, a perfect way to enter the Sabbath spirit. Life and joy and peace await us. Welcome. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos to each of you. I'm delighted to welcome you into the Gordon Chapel and to share with you the hour of worship and song that allows us to set aside the challenges of the last week. Each time we come into this room or the sanctuary, we know that Shabbat is about to begin. Lighting the candles, singing the songs, and sharing our prayers gives us all many reasons to appreciate God's presence in our life as a source of everything that we need. For those who have had a particularly joyous week, I'm delighted for you. Our songs and prayers give us a chance to say thank you for the blessings we've come to know. And for those who have had particular challenges, this is such a perfect setting for us to find in the company of others, as we share our prayers and songs, many reasons to feel hopeful that days ahead and weeks to come can be filled with strength and renewal again. So as we take our places and look forward to this time together, we invite cantor trumpeter to lead us in song.
Shabbat Shalom. We continue with the singing of Hine Matov on page 10, followed by Lecha Dodi on page 20 as we welcome in Shabbat. Please join me.
In our prayer book, we turn now to page 2 and 3. It's a privilege to invite Kim Trimble to lead us in the blessing over the Sabbath lights.
As the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. You can hold my hand.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
We continue with our call to worship Baruch Hu on page 28. Please rise.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Page 31, together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 33, responsively. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What could be a truer token of your abiding love
than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadevarim ha'ele asher Elohim mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 37, together. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Page 39, responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again you overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when nations will be one and peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
יפדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch Ata Adonai, Haburei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael, Ve'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת בטובתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת בטובתם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת בטובתם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת בטובתם ברית עולם. ביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת בטובתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת בטובתם ברית עולם.
Together, the people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed.
We continue with Hot Tefillah, beginning on pages 46 and 48. Please rise.
Adonai sefetai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tov.
שמו ביעבר, מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
Page 51, responsibly. We pray that we might know before whom we stand, the power whose gift is life, who quickens those who have forgotten how to live.
We pray for the winds to disperse the choking air of sadness, for cleansing rains to make our shows flower, and to give all of us the strength to rise up toward the sun.
We pray for love to encompass us for no other reason save that we are human, for love through which we may all blossom into persons who have gained power over our own lives.
We pray to stand upright and fallen, to be healed and sufferers. We pray to break bonds that keep us from the world of beauty. We pray for open eyes, we who are blind to our own authentic selves.
We pray that we may walk in the garden of a purposeful life, our own powers in touch with the power of the world.
Praise be to God, whose gift is life, whose cleansing rains that parch men and women flower toward the sun.
Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. Page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat. Page 57 together. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha bi'yirah na'avod. Page 59. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Page 61 together. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam.
we pray silently.
Shalom bimroma.
In addition to our personal prayers and our prayers for peace, we also include a prayer of healing, a healing of body and mind, of spirit and soul. Our Misha Berach, our prayer of health and well-being, is extended on this Shabbat to Morgan Aaron, Larry Wiesel, Fern Winograd, Stacia Folliter, Rebecca Risch, Adrian Golub, Aurora Espino, as well as all those within your own families and circles of friends who are in need of healing. We offer this prayer of Misha Berach for them. The words can be found on page 253.
"28 years ago, when I was completing rabbinical school, we had a session with the placement director who would counsel us in our first job search. Eager to land a good placement, which I did, we hung on to every word of counsel he had to offer. In addition to much sage advice, he added, speaking plainly, "Don't do anything you wouldn't want your mother to read about you in the morning paper." Well, current news headlines would lead us to conclude that that advice was not universally taught across professional fields or industries. But no one should be naive to think that the mere mention of ethical boundaries was ever enough to prevent ethical breaches. Despite every warning to celebrities, politicians, businessmen, and clergy of all faiths, they have recently found their names connected to scandalous stories in the media about errant relationships. To date, many questions have been raised about how and why, but apart from firing and public shaming, there really are too few satisfying explanations or solutions. Though more is required of all of us, in the brief time I have this evening, I'd like to offer a comment. I want to begin with a fundamental Jewish understanding and ethic. Judaism labels human urges, such as love, hunger, work, and ambition, as God-given, what we would commonly call natural human urges. But when we call these natural urges God-given, then we learn more about our obligations to them. Torah teaches, man does not live on bread alone, but on anything that God decrees. And from this we might learn that everything God decrees for us is therefore for our benefit. Now, what we decide to do with what God decrees for us is where the application of human ethics transforms them into the blessing they're meant to be or not. Human urges are powerful. We're constantly making ethical choices. Our Judaism teaches us that God created two inclinations or energies within each of us, called a yetzer. One is called yetzer hatov. It's the good energy or inclination. And the other, yetzer hara, the evil or energy or inclination. But before you jump to a conclusion about what might sound obvious to you, hear what the rabbis of old also taught. They said that the yetzer hatov, the good inclination, is clear. The good inclination leads us to perform acts of loving kindness and all manner of mitzvot. But the yetzer hara is more than it seems. At best, when we accept human urges as God's blessings to us and not as selfish privileges of human power and authority, then we are apt to harness our passions and fulfill even our deepest desires with moral authority founded on enduring Jewish values. At worst, when we reject God's blessings, often out of ignorance of them, and use our human power and authority as some right or privilege, we're bound to fail to harness our passions, especially our deepest desires. As a result, we hurt and despise others who fall into a trap filled with our basest instincts. Though the rabbis taught that the yetzer hara, the evil energy or inclination, is responsible for a slew of evil decisions and immoral acts, they also taught that it's responsible for human ambitions to marry, to have a family, to make a living, and to build a home. I'll be patient. And I know it sounds strange that yetzer hara, the evil energy or inclination, could lead us to seek those ambitions, to make a family, to make a living, and to build a home. It sounds strange, but the yetzer isn't evil in and of itself. Rather, it reflects our human nature to be passionate, sometimes enormously passionate, about all our desires, not just about love. And when these two inclinations work together, we begin to see how God and humankind are partners. For example, when we marry and have a family, yetzer hara, the evil inclination, inclines us to know intimate joy with our spouse, to build a home that meets our needs, and to earn a living that sustains us. Yetzer hatov, the good inclination, also leads us to balance our passion for intimate joy, to rear our children to be fine adults, to build a home that meets our neighborhood standards, and earn a living that provides for our family and leaves room for charitable giving. At no time does Judaism teach that our human passions are only evil. About intimate joy, Judaism never tells us not to enjoy relations with our spouse. On the contrary, Judaism says it's a mitzvah, and twice on Shabbat. But why? Because we've been taught to use God's gifts to us in pleasant ways and for joyful purposes. Moreover, you should know that the rabbis taught that such intimacy calms nerves, melancholy, and gladdens the soul. How grateful we are for our rabbis. So why is the scandal so rampant and the news suddenly full of daily stories of gross indiscretions? Well, first, too many men, including Jewish men, never learned or understood God's gifts to them and how to make them a blessing. They failed to embrace the covenant that embraced them with Torah teachings and moral boundaries. Like teenagers who never grew up, they understood their human passion as a powerful tool they could use against others for their own pleasure. There were few consequences, and it continued uncensored. Second, times have changed. A wide variety of leaders in America have flaunted their power and authority by demeaning the achievements many others have made on social issues. But unharnessed human privilege and authority is no match for social values founded on Jewish and other religious teachings and promoted by those who study them. Ultimately, the pendulum does swing, and enduring Jewish values bring all of us back to a place of greater balance, a place where the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer HaTov are not reasons to choose one over the other, but rather a reason to accept that we have passions about many things, and also a religious obligation to honor the one who decreed them. Finally, Judaism teaches that thinking and doing are two different things. In Judaism, God judges us only on our deeds, not on our thoughts. Likewise, we can only judge another person on his deeds too. Thoughts and fantasies are permitted to us as long as they don't prevent us from getting on with doing good deeds. Some of you may remember what it was reported so many years ago, that Jimmy Carter lusted in his heart. To him and his co-religionists, it was a sin. To us, it was and still is a normal urge. But what we choose to do with it will always be the difference between a mitzvah and a sin. The same can be said for simpler urges, for food. We all urge for something that tastes good, but too much is a problem. Too little is a problem too. But there isn't one Jewish event that isn't followed by food. In balance, for all the purposes that God decreed that not by bread alone should man survive and enjoy, we seek out good-tasting food and enjoy it in moderation. We have an urge for sleep and for work. Very often, people today claim that they're seeking a work-life balance. They might be describing a human urge to make a living, but to have a life too. They're talking about a Yetzer HaTov and a Yetzer Hara, those human urges that they can't set aside, but they would like to control and harness for the sake of a better life filled with joy and appreciation and gratitude. Although this lesson is only one beginning, only one of many contributions that Judaism can make to the conversation that is paralyzing workplaces and relationships today, I think it's an essential way to start, but the conversation has to continue. It's difficult to know when the headlines will change, although we hope they'll change soon. But truly, it's difficult to predict anything in the news today. But we know that Judaism holds us accountable to Torah teachings and God's covenant every day and without delay. So today, tonight, we must commit ourselves to respect the passions God decreed for us. They are meant to help us and others with whom we spend our time to know mutual love, enduring happiness, and lasting peace. Let it be so. Amen. Please rise. As we take our places before the Holy Ark, we appreciate the meaning of this moment, that in centuries upon centuries so long ago, our ancestors made a promise that in exchange for the gift of Torah, that they would pass it to their children and to their children's children. And in the long history of our congregation, in the long history of this family within our congregation, they have maintained and enriched the meaning of this Torah and its teachings. So it's a great privilege to pass the Torah now from dear grandparents to loving parents to a very special son.
Omamu Adonai Eloheinu, V'hishtahavu lahar kodesh, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Exalt Adonai our God and bow down towards God's holy mountain for Adonai our God is holy.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Eloheinu, Kadosh Shemo.
In our prayer book now, we turn to the bottom of page 282 and 287 as we join in Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Page 294. We take this time now to call to heart and mind those dear ones who departed this earth and entered the peace of life eternal. Lovingly we remember Gerald Weinstein, Arnold Schneider. And we add the names of those the anniversary of whose death is observed this Shabbat. In the Gordon Chapel, it's our custom to invite you, if you wish, to rise in your place as the name of your loved one is called. Afterwards, all of us will rise to share in reciting Kaddish. We remember Harold S. Gilbert, Annette Bookstaff, Eden Doctor, Ennis Doctor, Debbie Fenberg, Irene Ford, Reuben Hamburger, Pearl Hoffman, Phyllis Schaefer, Mary Cohen, Stephen Davis, Margaret Donsky, Sheila Esposito, Shelley Gould, Helen Haberman, Barbie Hyman, Ethel Hyman, Morris Levy, Burl Myers, Edward Pollack, Gertrude Radin, Alan Rest, Harry Sklar, Fred Stark, Sidney Weiss, Ernst Wolf, Hilda Zeigfinger, Bessie Bendelin, Bertha Cohen, Zena Evans, Philip Groginski, Hilda Harwood, Morris Hoffman, Aaron Kimmel, Florence Nathan, Samuel Popper, David Rosenberg, Zelda Weiner, Sarah Baychok, David Golub, Darrell Lewis, Carl Magaziner, Faye Miskin, Amelia Perwin, Robert Proler, Helene Roberts, Eva Ruth, Carolyn Rubin, Bertha Sklar, Edward Wyman, Helen Wolf, Daniel Zwilling, Herbert Cooper, Minnie Feldman, Dave Lack, Rosalie Lack, Bernard Schmulin, Carolyn Schmulin, Edith Spivak, Louis Spivak, Connor Anhalt, Miriam Ofnukov, Ruth Cook, Hans Fells, Helen Glassman, Daisy Glossman, Helen Goldstein, Norma Greenberg, Sylvia Goodell, Rose Kaplan, Sander Kelman, Mitchell Krause, Jean Miranda, Amelia Sachs, Donald Sasso, Carson Starkey, Ray Weingarten, Julius Fram, Lillian Gold, William Gold, Milton Goodman, Maurice Kaufman, Dorothy Rosenblum, Selma Rosenthal, Annette Urish, Arnold Walco, Sadie Warnick, Eva Wolski Black, Arthur D. Schwartz Sr. In their memory and in their honor, let's rise as a congregation to join in reciting the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach kirutei v'amlich malchutei, V'chai chon v'yomechon v'chai echol Beth Israel. V'galav yizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabban avarach le'olam alomei almaiha. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitjaman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitala shmei gurisha brichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiram v'yama v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'alpo Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'alpo Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to those who mourn and comfort to all the bereaved among us, as together we say, Amen. Right there. As we have dealt with death as part of life, it's time to recite the Kiddush as we sanctify the Sabbath day, the day in which we give thanks to God for the gift of life. It's a joy to invite our Bar Mitzvah, Sam Trimble, to lead us in the blessing over the Sabbath wine. Page 5.
The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God has been doing. And God ceased on the seventh day for all work that God has done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased for all the work of creation that God has done. We therefore raise the cup in thanksgiving. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher k'dishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat k'dasho v'ha'am ratzon v'ni'anu zikaron le'ma'aseh b'reshit ki hu yom tehillah le'mikra et kodesh ze'letziyah Mitzrayim kibanu b'mata v'otanu b'midah mikol ha'amim b'shabbat k'shabbat b'ha'am ratzon v'chatanu Baruch Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Stan Levy, and I have the privilege of serving as the treasurer of Beth Israel's Board of Trustees. Mazel tov to the family of Sam Trimble, who is becoming a bar mitzvah this Shabbat. And of course, mazel tov to Sam's parents, Kim and John, and the extended Trimble and Sealine families. This evening, Rabbi Foster is leading our family Shabbat program in Levitt Hall. This Sunday at 10:15 a.m. in the Margolis Gallery, we will have our final coffee talk of the season. David Scott will explore modern Jewish thought and the philosophy of Franz Rosenzweig and other 20th century Jewish thinkers. All are welcome to attend. On December 5th at 7:30 p.m., we have the privilege of hosting APAC Houston's community-wide event. We will be joined by featured speaker Dr. Einat Wilf, former member of the Israeli Knesset and foreign policy advisor to Shimon Peres. Please see your Friday night guide for information on how to register. Mark your calendars for our musical Hanukkah Shabbat program on December 15th. We will meet in the sanctuary at 6:30 p.m. We will sing together, light the maltz menorah, and shine a light on the new Beth Israel logo. After tonight's service, please feel free to visit the membership table and introduce yourself to me and my fellow trustees seated in the front row, Steve Robinson and Shirley Toomam, so that we may welcome you. Shabbat Shalom.
We conclude our service as we invite Cantor to lead all of us in singing Adon Olam. The words can be found on page 321. Please rise and join us in singing.
Adon Olam Asher Ma'ala B'terem kol Yitzir Nivra Yed Na'asa B'chefzo Chol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'acharei Kitlot HaKol V'ba'ado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Oved V'hu Yeh B'tifara V'hu Yeh B'tifara V'hu Echad V'yein Sheni Lehamshilo Lehakbira B'li Reshit B'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra V'hu Eli V'chai Go'ali V'tzor Chevli V'yein Tzara V'hu Nisi Uman Nohosli V'nat Kosi B'yom Ekra V'nat Kosi B'yom Ekra V'yado Ati Ruhi V'eiti Shal Mi'ayira V'im Ruhi Keviyati Adonai Li V'lo Ira Adonai Li V'lo Ira
Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, as this Shabbat continues and the week follows, in your presence, let us enjoy all the blessings that you have decreed. Help us to use them for goodness and for joy and for all who are touched by our life. May they too know lasting peace. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us for this Shabbat service. We're so pleased that we can share the services through live streaming. You are a part of our congregational community. If you have a need to call or write us, we would love to hear you beyond this beautiful service so that we can continue to deepen our relationship and our connection as a caring congregational community. I wish you the very best as the week continues, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Shabbat Shalom.